Hi, my name's Erin Sewell, and I'm going to be presenting today about butterflies. So, butterflies are the adult flying stage of certain insects belonging to a group called Lepidoptera, which in moths also belong to this group. And the word Lepidoptera actually means scaly wings, which fits these animals very well just because both of them have scaly wings. And the scales on butterflies us as humans we're not really supposed to touch just because of how fragile they are. And when we touch them, not all the times, but when we touch them, they can fall off. And if they do fall off, that's leading them closer to the end of their life cycle. This name, as I said, fits perfectly with these insects since they have thousands of scales all over their wings. These scales are what make butterflies so colorful and vibrant looking. This is what gives them their color and attention, I guess. This is why people love to see butterflies in the summer. Butterflies and moths are really closely related. However, they do actually differ in a lot of aspects. So butterflies' antennas are usually clubbed, whereas moths are typically fuzzy. Butterflies, as we know, we typically see them during the day, during a summer day, whereas moths, we see them at night if we're having a fire. Butterflies are relaxing. So, sorry, but when butterflies relax, their wings are actually up above their body, whereas when moths relax, their wings are spread out. Typically speaking, butterflies are more colorful and prettier to look at, as I said, rather than moths. In the group Lepidoptera, there are 180,000 different types of species and 126 families. And so in this taxonomic graph, you see different groups of butterflies, and all of these groups fall under the Nymphalidae. So this taxonomic map is a Nymphalidae butterfly graph where they're broken down even more specifically. And this Nymphalidae species is actually the largest species of butterflies. Lepidoptera evolved to make themselves unnoticeable by making their wings camouflage. And so, as you can see in this picture, this butterfly is royal blue, and then it has some lighter blue, and there just are not a lot of animals this color. So since their wings are such vibrant and abnormal colors, they can blend in with a lot of things that normally animals can't. So this gives them a huge advantage over other animals and even other insects. So some of their survival skills are mate recognition, camouflage and disguise, apsomatic and dimatic coloration, mimicry and sexual dimorphism, roosting behavior, seasonal dimorphism, chemical warfare, and hibernation and aestivation. And so a lot of these survival skills go hand in hand with one another. So mate recognition, camouflage and disguise, apsomatic and dimatic coloration, mimicry. So these all go together, meaning that butterflies are easy to blend in with other things in nature. So they're easier to disguise and mimic something they're not and make their predators not notice they're there. However, their species would be able to tell. So if one butterfly was blending in with a leaf and another butterfly happened to fly by, it could tell, but their predators would not be able to tell. So they will be able to mate, even if the butterfly is in disguise, they would be able to find their mate. So sexual dimorphism. So male butterflies actually typically are more vibrant than female butterflies. And this is because after female butterflies After female butterflies and male butterflies mate, it may take a while for them to lay their eggs. Therefore, they need to minimize the likelihood of them like being attacked. So they would draw less attention or as much as less attention as they can to themselves. So many butterflies, both in the tropic and in the temperate regions, hide under leaves in rainy weather and roost beneath them at night. They are often patterned and colored in such a way to minimize detection by predators at these times. So, butterflies, you've never seen like more than one of the same butterfly. It's almost like snowflakes, like each butterfly looks a little different. So, seasonal dimorphism, depending on the season, the butterfly's wing color will change a little bit, and it's not drastically, it's just like a little bit of a change. So for example, during summer months they might be more vibrant, whereas in the early autumn it might be more dull. Chemical warfare. Tropical butterflies do not sting, but they do have little spikes on them that could hurt. However, butterflies cannot bite, whereas caterpillars, before they turn into butterflies, caterpillars can bite, but once they turn into butterflies, they cannot bite. They actually have like a sucking motion. It's almost like they're using a straw. A much more dangerous chemical defense system is found in caterpillars of the Phonema obliqua, which can be found clustered in groups of up to 100 on the tree trunks in the Amazon rainforest. Hibernation and aestivation. Hibernation is a process that depresses metabolism and energy consumption. And this happens during the winter. And so it guarantees that energy is not wasted on fruitless searches for nectar in foliage in the winter. It synchronizes the spring awakening when the time when flowers and fresh foliage reappear. And so since butterflies are often um, they're not able to handle the cold weather, they hibernate and go into a diapause in which they are out of sight, out of mind to other animals. So they're out of sight and they're in a protected area. And so this gives them a really like high advantage, obviously, like any other animal that goes into hibernation. And so, in conclusion, I think butterflies are a very interesting insect, and I'm very happy I decided to research them for my project. I learned so much about them, including the history and background, including the species they're closely related to, ways that butterflies stand out not only from like other insects, because obviously they're more of a colorful insect, but actually how they stand out from each other and their closely related relatives, including moths. I also learned some strategies that they use to survive, including the ones I went through. So it's mate recognition, camouflage and disguise, apsomatic and diamatic coloration, mimicry, sexual dimorphism, roosting behavior, seasonal dimorphism, chemical warfare, hibernation, and aestivation. And so I learned those and I went into detail about some of them. And butterflies are insects that are beautiful to look at, and I've always loved them ever since I was a child, but I have never actually got to do like a project on them like this, so it was really exciting that we got to choose almost any animal or insect we could do. And so I chose butterflies, and I'm really happy that I did.